Greetings and greetings to you all. Thank you for joining us again in this 5 minute spiritual quest. My name is Master Abdullah Ngom. And this is the continuation of the rehearsal we just did regarding to humans setting the world on fire through our three major forces that rule humanity: religion, culture, and government. These three forces are what rule the collective because all our laws, rules, and regulations, what is valued and what is condemned, are principles of these three forces. They either religious, cultural, or the rule of law of government. So these three forces are what ruling the collective. And each one of them have the specific role to play in the direction that humankind is being led to this point in time and where humankind is heading. So that's why it's so crucial. It's so crucial to analyze this system. And what we're going to do today, we're not going to analyze the system based on theories or based on what one thing, but based on reality, based on factuality, based on what they have done and what they still doing and what they are planning to do. We're going to start with government because government is the ruling authority. Because any religious belief or cultural values, for that to become a law for a nation, that have to be need approval for the governmental leadership. So the government holds the highest authority on these three systems. And based on their corrupted intellect, their method or strategy, if you will, of leading, but it's a game. It's like a game, playing a game. The expense of human soul, human suffering, are just another playing a game. That's the curse of the intellect. They're navigating with a broken compass that work the opposite. Where what they promise or advocating to lead the collective, they are leading to the opposite direction. Because the world at this point is the opposite of harmony, peace, and tranquility. Innocent life are being destroyed everywhere you go, everywhere you look, by the hand of the same system that promised to lead, guide, and govern the human race to a peaceful world, to a world where everyone can exercise their right. Everything they were supposed to do, they were doing the opposite. That's the governmental system we're talking about. And we, on a state moment of time, where the game that they've been playing for so long, a deadly game, a losing game, have come to a point where even the dummies can realize this is a losing game and a game that nobody can win. Because nuclear exchange is so possible at this point in time. It's almost feel like it can happen any second based on the turmoil that consuming the collective. And all this is the governmental system who are fueling all these realities. And we all know nuclear exchange is a losing game for everyone because no one will be here to make assessment who win or who lose. And a functional brain, only backward thinking brain will play a losing game, but a functional brain who yearning for better will never play a losing game. And this is the game that is being played by the governmental system that governing the world. That's what makes it so dangerous. It's time adjustment, assessment, and adjustment to assess that what they have been doing is a very dangerous game and adjust to do something different. And do something different is not that difficult. Do something different for a better world is not that difficult. Should not be a challenge. When the knowledge is corrupted, whenever it's applied, you will get the opposite of what you're yearning for, hoping for, or striving for. And all these systems, religion, culture, government, all these systems are corrupted to the very core of their foundation. Because we hoping or they claiming to lead the collective to what? To a better world of peace, harmony, and tranquility. They functioning to the opposite of what they claim to represent. And when you go to the doctrines, you ask the question, where are the scholars of these books? Where are the scholars? Create more confusion than clarity. That's why for thousands of years people are still reading it and try to figure it out, what it's saying, what it means. For thousands of years. A book. For thousands of years you're still reading it and still don't know what it's saying. Or yet to understand what it's saying. That is not confusion enough. That's not confusing enough. How more confused you want to be? How more confused you want to be? For reading a document, for a document that has been read for thousands of years, it still be a debating factor, creating confusion, destruction. How confused you want to be? How more confused you want to be? Here you said, God is written, God is not the author of confusion. But yet, is full with contradiction. If it's not 1, 2, or 3, you can live with that. But throughout, contradictions, inconsistency, plenty of an error in all levels. By saying God is not the author in confusion, a mockery. A book reveals itself what it's about. Great promise, enlightenment. But they are here for thousands of years. People are still reading them. They are still a debating factor among readers and scholars as well. People are still trying to find out, try to read what these books are saying for 1,000 years. That is not enough confusion. I don't know what is. Something you've been reading for 1,000 years, still don't get it. That is not confusion enough. Talk about peace. A book that can separate, tell you, that separate from one to another. You don't belong to them. They're not part of you. Divides. Create destruction among people and among nation and among religion themselves. The opposite of formula of peace. How can a formula that designed to divide unite? A formula that designed to divide, separate, how can that formula unite? With what it's saying and what it's doing as a reality is totally the opposite. invalid in all levels. And when it comes to morality or righteousness or divinity, zero, none, because they're not even valid on a human levels. They are not even valid on a human levels. How they can have any credibility anywhere else? Any human being who would write a document by themselves that is contradictory, that will be seen invalid. But that's what these things are. From beginning to almost to the end. But it still says that as valid. A great humiliation to the human intellect. A great humiliation to such a creature advanced as humankind. A great humiliation to still get trapped. From this very simple, flagrant deceptions that gave us the world that is unbearable for the many. They have to go. They have to go. They have to go. And humankind have to have the courage to let these things go. Our well-known scientist Albert Einstein's definition of insanity in doing the same thing and expecting different result. We've been doing this for 1,000 years, hoping that to be saved by them or create a better world. For 1,000 years, generation after generation, and we have come to a point we all have give us plenty evidence that many past generations probably didn't have. We are more advanced than them. Give us the knowledge and the courage and the discernment to toss these things to the side and live our life the way we're supposed to live them, without the ideas of thousands of years demonic, corrupted mindset that shape our future. We have what it takes to shape our future, to end the curse here and build a fresh one for the next generation to come, a better one for the next generation to come, not for the same cycle of insanity. They don't belong to God, they're free from the hands of God. The fingerprint of the enemy of God, you see them in all of them, all the systems. You see, if I would have put a metaphor or illustration that reveals how useless all these doctrines and the religion they represent and their structures, how they are useless to the collective toward the path of peace. A simple illustration would be two or three children, 9th graders. Ask them their desire. What is their desire for a better world? If their ideas were implemented, materialized for that to become a reality for the collective, just those three children who desire for a better world, they will be more useful than all the doctrines, the religion they represent, and the structure, and the adherent who's shouting in their name or in their behalf. These three children will be more useful to the collective than all of them combined. Because for 1,000 years or for some 100 years, some 1,000 years, the world is still in chaos, in turmoil. The world is still far, far from a peaceful world. The world is far, far, far from a world to be united based on the formula. You'll see they claim it, but the formula do the opposite. How can a formula of division, formula that create confusion, formula of destruction, how can a formula, an element that possesses all these three formula, deliver you peace? You hope this formula can deliver you peace. You didn't understand what it is. Well, you're not reading it. You're not reading it. Or you're not reading it with your moral conscience. You're not reading what it's saying. And this is another thing, because people get trapped on reading it and debating about what is written in it. That's one of the major deception. Because if you look at the credibility, if the debating factor was the credibility of it, no one will be reading them. The real issue, if this religious doctrine, if people were debating about their credibility, no one will be reading them, because they have none. They have zero credibility of moral credibility. This doctrine has zero moral credibility in a court of moral righteousness in any level. They don't have moral credibility in any levels. If you analyze their credibility, they have none. Moral credibility, none. But the same thing with culture. The devil's monarch system, appointed by the devil, give them the audacity to think that they should be bowed to by others, because they are king, they are royalty, king or queen, and mockery of the authority to the heavens. Because no human being should be bowed to. No one should be bowed to, but God alone. And God will not even ask to be bowed to by any. Because God is already who he needs to be, mighty as can be. God is not a ruler who thirsts for power, or a weak soul who yearning for their ego to be fed by others. Like these devilish king and queens that people are bowed to. Anyone has to be bowed to. You are agent of Satan. All these books, they're not needed. What we need to do as an individual and a collective, children are doing it all the time on a regular basis in every part of the world. Children, you go to any playground, take children from any country, put them together, all races, put them together. They will play. They will not see everything that devices. They will play because they're there to play. They will not ask who's who, what is what, where. No, they will play because the playground is to play and they're there to play. See? So, as a grown up, you're saying ideas of children, for a better word, or the reality of children manifesting in reality that is beyond what you can do or struggling to do, doesn't mean you're sick in your head. Something is wrong here. If you're grown up, you cannot join together as grown up like these souls. You say you cannot do what the children can do. You cannot think how children can think. that's something really, really messed up with your head. Something's really, really screwed up for the way you live. Something is really, really, really wrong with what you believe in. We are creation of one God, one species. Regardless of our differences, black or white, yellow or brown, doesn't matter where you live in a part of this earth. The reality of one life, you live and you shall die, is the same reality to all. Doesn't matter what position, what is your status, or how much position you at your disposal. How you look, where you live, doesn't matter. Equal reality for. So the time we here as the playground for the kids to play together before going back home, let's do that. This earth is a place to live in peace and harmony and tranquility. So every single soul, every single living being, human and non-human, deserve to be given these rights, because these are God-given rights to all the creations of the land of this earth. Anyone who interferes with that, you have violated the laws of God. No one was created to harm anyone or be harmed by anyone. Peace is embedded within every single soul, every single life. God put them there, meant to exist without sorrow, horrors, or be dictated or the dictatorship of any, to live in peace and tranquility. Harmony and tranquility. Peace is a God-given right to every single soul in the face of this earth. And this earth was meant to be a peaceful land. That's the Lord that governs it. But humans, by the influence of the enemy of God, with the curse of the corrupted mentality, everything worked backward. Everything functioned the opposite of how they were supposed to function. But its time have come for assessment and adjustment, to be born again as a child. See that all that differentiates us, whether it's a cultural belief, religious belief, or rule of law, these are systems designed by the very enemy of God and humankind altogether. Grown up with all the intellect they're bragging about, all the cultural value that they great pride with, all the claim knowledge of holiness and righteousness and divinity, all them combined, three forces combined, you still can't do what children do on a regular basis without even with no effort. what children should do with no effort, wasting all resources, might, and cannot achieve what children achieve with no effort. How do you even put this together? It's sick. It's humiliating, embarrassing, sick. Sick to the head. Sick to the head. Government, culture, they're all the same. It's time for assessment, and adjustment, to adjust. And to do that is simple as saying it. Because children, if you take children, ask them the definition of a better world, they will give you an idea that will give you a better, far better world than the world we live in right now. Children can do that. Children can give you an idea that can give, if it was implemented, realized as a reality, will be far better world than the world we live in right now. Children, ideas. Children will be the cure of grown-up curse that gave us this world that seemed like a living hell for the many. It's embarrassing, humiliating to such a creature as humankind to struggle what their very, very little one can do. It is time for us to come with our moral senses. Do what is right in this earth and what is right for one another. Respect one another and treat creatures of the world with great respect and great admiration to the earth itself. These children can do that. Children are doing that. But growing up, we see it as an impossible task. Because we have inherited a curse that seems to be comfortable with it. And this curse must be broken. Our behavior in this earth, the way we live in this earth, this have to change. Have to change for the sake, for our sake, for the sake of this earth, for the sake of our future generations. This have to change. And does not require nothing to change it, but a simple will. Simple will. Everything we need is at our disposal. It's time to stop this nonsense and do what is right. To do what is right. To do what is right. We owe this to the earth. We owe this to the earth. We owe this to all the creatures of the earth and the one who created the earth. This we owe them. We owe this to them. Let's fulfill this simple requirement task. I think I'm going to leave it for next time. And as always, be well and God bless. I'll see you next time.